191, fax number 310-854-4455. Drew?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Drew's a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Oh, man, do we got a day and 3/4 ahead of us. Here's what we're doing tomorrow, kiddies. Or I like to think of it as just an extension of tonight. This show will end at midnight and get home about 12:30. What time are you getting picked up tomorrow morning?
5.
Oh, really? 5? No.
5:15.
5:15. 5:30?
No.
Okay. I'm getting picked up. I was getting picked up at 5:30, but I made it 5:45. We all right?
I'm pissed. We're not all right.
You got to whittle.
Who'd you whittle with?
You got to haggle with the man.
All right.
You know, the thing that's funny is, I swear to God, this would be the greatest, more entertaining than any show I've ever done. A taped conversation of me haggling with people about what time I should get picked up to get to the airport. What time's the flight leave? 7 o'clock. What time are you picking me up? 5:30. Oh, no. 5:30, hour and a half? Well, you got to figure you got to get there 10 minutes early to check in, you know. You checking any baggage? No. How far is the terminal from the curb? I don't know. About 180 feet. I paced that off the other day. I did it in 4.5 minutes. You know, if the guy picks me up at 5:30, you know he rings the buzzer at 5.
Yeah.
That's how these guys work. Here's how chauffeurs work, everybody. When they send you a car, you have two choices. Either the 5:30 car shows up at 5 or shows up at 6. But never does it just show up at 5:30. So I'm arguing with my people. Geez, 5:30, not a lot of traffic. Probably make it out to LAX in about 45 minutes. Sure hate to get there early. What time's Drew getting picked up? 5:15. He's out in Pasadena. How about 5:45?
I just figured out what
How
I'm
about
going to
5:40?
They're ringing the bell. It's going to be my alarm tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
So, here's the deal. I'm going to bed about 1:30 or 2. I'm getting up at 5. We're going down to LAX, getting on an airplane, going to that cursed New York. I like New York, but I hate that losing that 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's where you're screwed. Because by the time we land in JFK in New York, it's going to be about 3:30 their time. We're doing Conan O'Brien tomorrow night. And Conan tapes at 5:30. JFK is not really anywhere near the city.
No.
And with traffic, weekday, middle of the afternoon.
Take us an hour and a half.
Hour and change, quite easily. We'll be lucky to get to the hotel.
We're not going to the hotel. We're going right to the studio.
Just talked to someone, talked to Marshall on the phone tonight. That's what I told him. Should have returned his page.
I called him, and I told him we'll see him at the studio.
All right, anyway, going straight from, even worse then, going straight from, you're whipped when you're thinking to yourself, I'm telling the guy on the phone who wants to meet me down in the hotel tomorrow and go over to Conan with us, don't ring my room because I think I'm going to get to the hotel about 4:45 and we don't have to leave until 5:15 and I think I can take about an 18-minute nap. Anyway, we're going straight from JFK then to Conan.
Our call time is 4:30.
Really?
Yes.
What time's Conan tape? 5:30?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's 5:30.
Oh, boy.
They basically have it timed so we are going directly to a makeup chair.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yes.
All right, then we're doing Conan. Then we got the radio from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. with the time difference in New York, Westwood 1. Vanilla Ice is going to come in tomorrow night.
That's cool.
Yeah, I saw him on MTV. Stuff looks good. What the hell? That's tomorrow night. And then, do you have any idea what time we're leaving for JFK on Thursday morning?
It's basically a repeat of today.
I'd say worse. What time's our flight from JFK?
I think it's 7.
7 a.m.?
Yeah.
And it's going to take a good hour to get from the hotel to JFK.
Yeah.
So we're going to get picked up at 5:30?
Yeah.
That's the only reason that's not a repeat of today is...
We're going to bed at 3:30.
Oh, if we're lucky, we're going to bed at 3:30 tomorrow night. Oh! That is just painful. Going to bed at 3:30, everybody. Getting up at 5. Then, when we get back to L.A., we ain't going home. Going directly over to the TV studio. We're going to do 4 of those bad boys. Wait till you see how many people I yell at on Thursday. It may be a new yelling record for me. Oh, do I pity those poor wardrobe girls when they come into my dressing room and want me to change my socks.
And they are going to be pissed after you soil their lovely outfit with a big K-Rock logo.
Well, I got to wear the T-shirts. Part of the conditions of doing Conan.
But somebody should have figured that out with them.
I know. So, but Drew, you can't count on people figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
Then we'll be back in here Thursday night, the fabulous Westwood 1, or Westwood 2 as we like to call it, Loveline Studio. Man, does that sound like a hellacious 2 days to me. All right.
It's going to be what it is, you know?
Right. Garrett, Drew, you can rally. God bless you. Garrett Wang is going to be in here tonight. He's from Star Trek Voyager. Drew, do you know him? What did you do, run into him somewhere?
Yeah.
Where?
At a pool.
At a pool?
Remember, you were there at Las Vegas. We were all in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He walked up and introduced himself. And
want to come on the show?
Yeah.
Where was I?
You were there.
I didn't see any guy named Garrett Wang. And what was he wearing, Speedos or trunks?
I can't remember.
Lori.
Yeah.
You're 16.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, I was just wondering what kind of stuff that you think guys look for in a girl other than looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how old are the guys? You know, it depends.
18.
18?
Yeah.
Do you say other than looks?
Other than looks.
Not being like a serial killer.
Well, I mean, like, really.
Well, guys, when they're young especially, and even when they're old, I mean, they pretty much go with looks first. And here's the deal with looks. They'll rationalize any look. You know, and they'll slap all sorts of attributes on her that don't exist. You know, Cindy Crawford, she's totally intelligent. She's really intelligent. Whenever I hear guys talk about it, she's really smart. No, Linda Tripp is probably smarter than she is, but you know what I mean? She looks like a water bison, so it's not. No one cares what she looks like, so we don't care what her personality's like either.
By the way, I listened to some of those tapes tonight on the internet.
Yeah.
Monica should have called here a couple years ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if she calls in now, that's a coup.
She would have said, hello, my name is Monica. We would have gone, ooh.
Oh, with the voice?
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, Lori, besides looks, I think someone who puts out sexually.
Oh, God. Such a prick.
Is that an attribute?
All right, Lori, I think that guys... certain guys are only going to be looking for looks, and that's it. Period.
Well, yeah, I know.
Okay,
Especially young guys.
Yeah, other guys are happy just to have female companionship, are going to look for interesting people, warm people they can connect with, people that they feel really intimacy with. I mean, that's what attracts people.
Yeah, but
sort of, especially at that age. Think how guys sort of respond to that, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're
all right, but hold on, Drew. Be honest. You get rid of looks, you get rid of putting out, and you've gotten rid of... You know, the two components that add up to about 95% of what men are looking at when they're 18.
Of 80% of males. You're left with about a 20% category that I think who probably feel like she does, which is what do women want? What are they looking for? I wish somebody would like me and be close to me. That kind of thing. There's that 5, you know.
All right. They don't want someone who busts any balls.
No.
They want someone who's easy, someone who laughs at their jokes. It's sort of pathetic because... I hate to admit it, but you tell me if you disagree, Drew. When you talk about attributes that a man looks for in a woman, especially a young man, 17, 18, 19 years old, it's not, he looks for things that she won't do to him more than attributes.
No.
Now listen to me. You know what I mean?
No, give me an example.
What I mean is an 18-year-old guy would rather have a woman who didn't bust his balls, who let him go out with his friends and drink a beer or go bowling or something like that, who wasn't clingy, who wasn't riding him.
Yeah.
You'd rather have that than a woman who really played the violin.
Yeah.
I mean, played that violin like a prodigy. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree, but that is an issue that comes after attraction, right?
Right. So, nice. Easygoing. It's a bunch of pathetic stuff because guys are pathetic, and it's not really. It's like if women were cars and guys were looking at cars, they'd never pop the hood. You know what I mean? They'd see how the interior smelled. They'd stand back. They'd hold one of their sport coats up against the fender and see if it went well with it, and that'd be it. They wouldn't care if the thing had oil in it. They wouldn't care what the transmission was like. They wouldn't even kick the tires. I got to find out from Lori, though. Lori?
Yeah?
Why? You having trouble getting a guy?
Well, it's because I'm overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, my parents are always like, "Oh, you're pretty" and everything. And then I've heard a lot recently, more people saying, you're prettier and, all that stuff. But I mean, no guys seem to notice it. And I'm just,
Well, how tall are you?
5'4", 5'5".
How much you weigh?
2-something.
2-something?
Yeah, like 220.
Mm-hmm. And guys you feel that's getting in the way of you and dating?
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Some guys are into that now.
Yeah, black guys like that. You like black guys?
I have no problem with them, but I live in Valparaiso, Indiana. I mean, I really don't think there's too many black guys around here.
Yeah. Gonna have to move to like Detroit or something. All right, Lori. Here, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
All right? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Other people may not, but I'm gonna tell you the truth.
That's why I called you.
All right. It's gonna be tough. High school's tough. Being young is tough. Being, a couple pounds overweight at your age, dealing with the people you're dealing with, it's tough. I'd say it's the toughest.
Being overweight.
Yeah. People talk about discrimination, racial or religious, whatever it is. But I'll tell you, this is the ultimate, I think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's going to go away in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and you're not going to be the belle of the ball. It doesn't mean you won't have your day, but your high school years are not going to be your most fruitful dating years. That's the bottom line.
Hey, what about getting focused and working on herself in the meantime?
Yeah.
Get a dietitian, exercise program.
Hey, listen, I didn't get laid in high school either. And
you had no good excuse.
I had no good excuse. Yeah, except for the Brillo head.
The teeth.
All right, true. Do you have to pile on? Lori?
Yeah.
You're not going to have a lot of boyfriends in high school. That doesn't mean you're not going to meet the man of your dreams. That doesn't mean you're not going to have the career of your dreams. That doesn't mean you're not going to have the family of your dreams. But I'm telling you, flat out, high school is not going to be an easy road for someone who's overweight like yourself. So I would look at high school as sort of a launching pad. I would look at getting my grades good. I would look at trying to get in shape, work on the diet, work on the exercise, losing the weight.
Well, I'm going one step towards that because I have depression, so I'm on Prozac, and that's helping a lot.
Yeah. And you're just going to have to get involved with a bunch of other stuff and not make...
I have a prospective job tomorrow, so that's
good.
Right,
And don't make dating a big priority. But listen to me, all of you. There's tons and tons... I believe that like 2% of the high school students do 95% of the dating.
Yep.
And then there's the rest of us. What are you nodding for? You got laid all through high school. You had a girlfriend when you were like 15 and you didn't break up with her until, was it like 6 months ago?
I didn't do any dating. You know
But listen, you had a squeeze.
I know.
Most of the guys I went to high school with, guys on the football team, guys on the baseball team, most of them never had a girlfriend. They may have had a date or two, but nothing. Yeah. Nothing really. I mean, the problem is you turn on the TV, you watch these goddamn Buffy the Vampire Slayer and these Aaron Spelling shows and stuff, and there's just a bunch of guys that look like Luke Perry banging their way through the 10th grade, and you think, hey, what's wrong with me? That didn't go on when I was in high school. People, the guys I knew, rarely dated. And if they did, they sure didn't get any sex. And once in a while, a guy had a girlfriend, but it was really once in a while. So I think Lori's going to have to walk in the shoes many of us have walked in before her. That's fine. Get the exercise, get the grades up, worry about the depression.
Diet.
You can do whatever you want in your life. Oh, but that's got to be a bitch, Drew. That is a bitch.
You know, some people are genetically prone that way, and it's going to be a struggle their whole life.
Absolutely. All I can do is look at pictures. Go look at a picture of Dom DeLuise when he was 8. You'll see a fat kid with the fat guy hat. the Paul Prudhomme hat. You know what I mean? It's so sad that as a society we put so much stock in something and we lay so much blame on fat people.
Yeah.
Look at you pig. You're disgusting. Have some respect for yourself, you lazy.
Why don't you diet?
Yeah, why don't you take care of you? Look at you lazy slob. It's really weird, but people really attack fat people. And I got to tell you, when you're 16, if you're drastically overweight at 16, that's genetic for the most part.
A lot of it.
yeah, you got to work real hard to get there. And as you know, we all knew kids that just ate whatever you put in front of them, and as many French fries as they could squash in their mouth at one time, never gained a pound. Okay, Christina.
Hi.
You're 31.
Yes, I am.
What's going on?
I had a question, a couple of questions. I wanted to know, what is the incidence of HIV with lesbians?
It's very unusual.
How unusual?
I don't know the number offhand, but it's relatively rare.
Okay, even if they don't practice safe sex, dental dents.
Apparently, there's not a lot of that practice going on.
God apparently likes lesbians.
I'm sorry?
Well, I was watching the news today, and they had something on some hate groups or some religious nutballs talking. There's some religious church in the South or something that's, they bang on gays. They don't like gays. And then they claim that AIDS is really sort of God's wrath against, male homosexual behavior. They're getting what they deserve kind of thing.
But lesbians being at lower incidence, God must smile on them.
That's what I'm thinking. Using their logic, I'm saying that God enjoys a lesbo film every once in a while.
All right.
Why? What are you doing?
Well, no, I'm just asking, if it's...
Why are you asking?
Well, I'm curious because, I'm gay and I don't see it that much, with
Yeah, it's unusual.
women.
And you also notice people are not practicing safe sex very often there, are they?
There's people that are promiscuous and there's people that are, they're monogamous.
But you don't.
I have a theory.
We brought it up to lesbians, and they usually they just shrug it off. Oh no, it's not for us.
Well,
I don't know why.
What, you mean safe sex?
Yeah, I still think it's.
Well, why should they?
Well, it's still a good idea.
As long, if no one breaks the bounds of the lesbian ranks, it'll be fine.
Well, they still use IV drug users.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of lesbians doing that?
I don't know if a lot.
I have a theory, Drew.
Well, you listen.
Here's
A
how the lesbians.
lot of bisexuals.
Here's how you can spread HIV through oral sex, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here's my theory. Most lesbians, and this is documented, chew tobacco, right? I think there's something in the red man or the skull or the beech nut that must kill the HIV virus.
Sure, it's not something it's being absorbed through the feet, the shoes.
With the Birkenstocks?
Could be.
True. Please, don't work those comedy angles anymore. I have to bail you out every time. Hey, ever put chewing tobacco in your mouth? It's pretty potent stuff.
Yeah.
Not much lives in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, most of them will throw the wad out before they actually get down to business, but there's still residue. You know? Okay.
Thanks for bailing me out.
Christina.
Krista?
Krista.
Hi.
Hey, you're 13. What's going on?
My boyfriend wants me to have sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
You're 13?
Yeah,
How old is he?
15.
Yeah. How long have you been going out with him?
About a month. Maybe 2.
You're 13, Krista. You ready for that?
I don't know.
No. Come on.
Huh?
You're not ready for that, are you?
I can hear you. What?
You're not ready for that, are you?
I don't know.
Well,
No.
until you know, don't do it, okay? That's
Okay.
our advice.
Guys, hello?
Yeah?
Can you do me a favor really quick? On the show, you guys, it was this guy in there, you know the song, Hello Mother, Hello Father?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm smoking marijuana. You know that? Hello?
Is she talking about the Camp Granada song?
Yeah.
But she has new words for it or something.
Yeah, what's the word for it?
You have new words for the Camp Granada song?
Oh, I want to ask what's the word.
Hello, Mata. Hello, Fada. All right, go ahead.
It goes, I am smoking marijuana. I was just wondering if you knew the rest, because I don't.
No, I know. Shannon, you shouldn't be having sex for a long time.
Okay.
All right, please.
Please, Krista.
Please.
Don't do that.
Please. Oh, my God.
And I'm writing you this letter just to say my compound fracture's getting better. All the bathrooms have such thin doors. Gee, I wish they'd put them indoors. You remember Harold Spivey? They're about to organize this. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh no. He got
no.
He got
Poison
poison ivy. Yeah, he got poison ivy, And what's the searching party? And then they take me home, oh mother, father, take me home. I miss Granada.
I hate Granada.
I can't remember the. But at the end, turned out he liked the song. Yeah. Kevin.
Yeah.
You're 33.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, got a question for both you and Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how to raise the volume of my emissions.
Why?
I'm trying to get my wife pregnant, and all I'm doing is just shooting capfuls, if you get what I mean.
What makes you think that's going to make a damn bit of difference in your fertility?
Well, it doesn't seem to...
Kevin, if fertility treatment just involved causing males to produce more volume, the whole field would be quite simpler than it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're having fertility issues, you need to go have a fertility evaluation. That is a very complex issue. Has she ever been able to get pregnant before?
No.
Never by you?
Not by me.
How long have you guys been trying?
What's that?
How long have you guys been trying?
About 7 or 8 months.
Go get an evaluation.
Okay.
You need to, first of all, to have your sperm, about 50% of the time, it's actually the men's sperm, the quality of the sperm, the number of the sperm, the ability of the sperm to capacitate or move that determines fertility, or relationship between the sperm and the female. The female can actually attack the sperm and destroy it, or something about the way the sperm is able to penetrate the egg is impaired. There's all sorts of areas or sort of steps.
Well, what do
in the
they
process
do if there's a problem there?
Well, there are ways of washing the sperm down, and there's ways of altering her immune function. I mean, there's all sorts of things
What do
going
you
on.
mean washing the sperm? I just did that the other night. Threw the tube socket into the tub.
But then she would probably get something called a hysterosalpingogram, where they light up her tubes to make sure they're functioning normally and make sure she's ovulating, make sure she doesn't have any autoimmune disorders or endocrine problems. I mean, there's a huge evaluation that goes on in this.
But couldn't you just squirt more?
Yeah, people.
You couldn't just load up on electrolytes and not whack off for a couple days and knock that bitch up? Drew, you tell me if you drank a half gallon of Gatorade, didn't whack off for a week, you wouldn't knock anybody up? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you'd have to take some Ma Wang or some weird... That'll do it. It's some vitamin C and some vitamin E. And
how do they wash down the sperm?
I've never been involved in that process. I know there are ways of changing the way the sperm's immunogenicity works and the way it is able to attack the egg and whatnot.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about today? It's funny that there's a lot of stuff that's inside of your body that comes out of your body that you're real disgusted by. And you don't even want to get on you. Sperm, urine, feces, phlegm, things like that.
And yet,
it lives inside of you constantly.
Yeah, it lives in the most sterile parts.
And the thing that's weird is...
The outside is the dirty part. Why should that be what we're concerned with?
I think as humans, we're like, we got to be the only animal that's kind of freaked out by that. You know what I mean? Other animals, they go right for the ass. I saw a couple of dogs today that went right for the ass. You know, gorillas, they throw their own crap. Well, so do some of my high school buddies. But what I mean is isn't it kind of weird that you're kind of freaked out? I mean, like, you'll blow your nose, something will come flying out of there, and then you'll be like, oh, man, it's on me. Oh, yo, who?
You could theorize that that's what makes people different and capable of sustaining a society and things, is this illusion that we are something different than we really are.
Interesting, man. All right, what call do you want to... Can we just... we're done with the show, right? I can go home and go to bed. What call do you want to take?
5.
5? Well, we're going to break, smart guy.
Oh.
Sandy's estranged hubby is driving her nuts. He won't leave her alone. We got a little stocking situation coming up here. All right, we'll do that when we come back.
Oh, yeah! Everybody now! Loveline will be right back.
Hey, it's the Loveline. What's going on over there? Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Man of Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Garrett Wang is here from Star Trek Voyager, Wednesday nights, UPN, 9 o'clock. Just heard 100th episode?
That's correct. The big 100.
What the hell day is that? Tomorrow? Is that
tomorrow? Yeah.
Tomorrow's 100th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty excited about it.
Nobody knows less about Star Trek than I do. I got to just be up front and say that, but I'm sure you know. So give us the whole breakdown. I mean, there was Star Trek.
Right, the original Star Trek.
Right.
And there was Star Trek The Next Generation. And then,
Right.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and now Star Trek Voyager. That's the newest one.
Right. And how do they figure out why or when to turn things over and give it some new cast members, a new title? You know, why not just take Deep Space Nine and let it run for 10 years?
I guess maybe the budget gets too big, after a while.
The ratings get too high.
Rating gets...
That's why.
Right. So now we're in the Voyager. And do we know what the next incarnation of Star Trek's going to be?
No, we don't. There's different rumors, but and nothing's set in stone.
And so now that you're a Star Trek alum, well, not an alum, but part of the family, the Star Trek family, do you do the tours? Do you do the conventions?
Yeah, we go on conventions, autograph signings, all the time.
And is it as strong as it's ever been?
It's definitely still as strong as it's been before, yeah. I mean, I think we have a very large built-in fan base. So
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean...
watch it.
In a way...
You go to Paramount,
I'm scared. You know what? There's a few things in life I'm scared of. Star Trek and video games.
Oh, yeah,
I'm scared I'm going to be sucked.
Yeah.
I'll get sucked in.
You would. You'd be lost forever.
Heroin. Actually, that's the third. There's three things in life that I'm scared of. Video games, Star Trek, and heroin.
You should have put porn on the list, but that one's got you already.
I should have put that on a list 18 years ago. Yeah.
Point.
Someone should have put that on a list for me. Yeah, there you go. I know I'll get sucked in, and then I'll be at the convention, dressed as Picard.
The Tribble.
The Tribble
You know some of the
mask.
names here. So,
Hell yes.
All right.
All right, so 100th episode, which is translates into how many, is that about 4?
This is our 5th season we're shooting right now.
Wow.
Yeah, we started the same time ER did, the same time Friends did,
And I guess syndication is just a given when it comes to Star Trek.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, the thing about Star Trek is it's sort of at the point where you don't know where it begins or ends. It's a new ship. That guy looks different, but it's going.
Right.
Man, and if there was a chart, and you may not be able to answer this, but I would be curious to see when, Trekkies, when was the original Star Trek? Mid-60s?
Yeah.
Right?
Late 60s.
67?
67, 68.
Yeah. Okay, and there wasn't the whole Trekkie mania stuff, I'm guessing, until 10 years later or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't during the original run, but I think through syndication and that kind of thing where people got on board. But I'd like to see some sort of graph that had numbers of U.S. Trekkies or worldwide Trekkies. Is it at its highest right now, or was it at its highest, 4 years ago? I couldn't tell you. Do you know?
Is it at its zenith? Is that what you're asking?
Right. Are we at the Trekkie zenith?
First of all, it's not to offend the Trekkers out there. There is a PC way of referring to it, Trekker as opposed to Trekkie. And
Trekker.
Yeah, that's the correct way.
You don't have to worry about offending those people. What are they going to do?
And is it at its zenith? I think so. I think with each show, with each generation that comes by of shows, you just get more and more fans, and I think it's at an all-time high.
Is part of your contract, does it stipulate in your contract that you must attend these conventions?
No.
And do something like that?
No, those are all third-party convention people that put them on. It has nothing to do with Paramount.
Are there certain people that don't go to them?
Some people, yeah. Some people will say.
And then their price goes up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The less you go to, the more the price goes up.
Right. The thing it strikes me about being involved with the cast of Star Trek is there's there's your job, and then there's this whole second sort of ancillary job, which is however much work you want on the side, right?
The promotions, right?
I mean, you can do as much promotion, you can do as many as these events, you can open as many shopping malls as you want. Oh man, true. We do stuff we don't get a penny, right?
By comparison,
yeah. No, I mean, we sat out in where did we sat out? Huntington Beach. For 8 hours last week.
Oh, please.
We got a cold taco. Yeah. All right, Drew. You ready to rock and roll here?
Let's go.
Sandy.
Hi.
You're 24.
Uh-huh.
What's going on?
I've been married for about a year. And my husband and I had a bunch of problems, and we split up for a while.
Did he become abusive?
No.
What happened?
Well, he quit working, and I was working. We found out I was pregnant, and we had to move in with my parents on the condition he got a job, and he had one, but he'd call off a lot and stuff, so they kicked him out. And now he's like wanting me to get back together with him, and he's still not working. And I went with him to his doctor's appointment last week, and they've diagnosed him as being manic depressive, codependent, and obsessive, and kind of want to get rid of him. I'm not sure how to go about it.
Just trade him in, huh?
Yeah, Sandy, what's wrong with you that you hooked up with this world-class loser?
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, do you have any kids?
He does. Yeah, he's got 3, and then I've got 1, besides the one we have together.
How come why does he have 3 kids?
There's 5 kids now.
Well,
total. Add them up.
Well, I'll give him 4.5 because the one isn't his. Sandy? How old are his kids?
He's got 6-year-old twins, a 2-year-old, and then ours is 2 months old.
You sound like you're describing some sort of a carnival event, you know, with the light in your voice. So it's what we call an inappropriate affect. You know, you're describing a very serious, disturbed, messy situation. It's miserable.
Right.
It's not delightful. It's
wretched. It's pretty messy.
It's wretched. What happened to you growing up that leads you to be so detached from feelings and then to get in with somebody that's this much of a mess, so much of a project, let's say?
I guess very sheltered.
No.
Sheltered and kept in with an alcoholic parent?
Kept in the basement sheltered, chained to the radiator sheltered, or?
Just not want to do anything.
Yeah. No, that's not that. Drew, you better hope this ain't it, because your kids are screwed. What else? Anything we should know about Sandy? Why would you hook up with this guy?
I thought I was in love.
No. All unacceptable answers on Loveline. Where's the mother of his 3 kids?
Probably out with her boyfriend drinking right now. I'm not taking care of them.
Hey, Sandy?
Mm-hmm.
She gets a little chuckle in at the end. The kids have lit the trailer on fire, and Sandy's got a little chuckle in there. Sandy, I got to get to the bottom of you. All right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you lose your virginity?
16.
Okay, give us the real answer.
16.
Give us the truth.
I swear, 16.
Why did it take you so long to come up with 16?
I don't know.
All right. Nothing, no contact sexually before the age of 16?
No.
With anybody?
Uh-uh.
Your dad and mom still together?
Yeah.
What's your dad do for a living?
Car sales.
Car sales?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's it. Guy coming home with a big wide tie and a hairpiece. Talking about low monthly payments.
Anybody drink?
Anybody drink?
No, not in my family.
No alcoholism?
No.
What do you mean not in your family?
Well, his family.
Okay.
Yeah. But no one in your family?
No.
Yeah. No sexual abuse, no physical abuse?
No.
No one ever beat you?
No.
How close do you live to the power plant? I'm thinking there's just some, what we call an environmental hazard here. All right, Sandy?
Uh-huh.
Drop this guy and no more kids.
I don't plan on any more kids.
Good. Thank you. All right, break up with this guy. He's an idiot. Okay, and next time you want to marry someone, talk to me. I'll pick him out for you.
The alternative is to get him into intensive treatment, which you must participate in. He's made contact. He's going to be put on medication. He said he's very codependent. He's possibly an addict as well, I suspect, and he needs comprehensive treatment, and you need to participate in it thoroughly if you want to try to make this work. Without that, you're in for a world of chaos.
It just... I want to get on that Star Trek ship with you and just leave the universe. I really do. When I think about guys like Sandy's husband, 3... Let's see, wait, he's got...
5. 3 with one girl, 2 with...
And one with another, and she has one.
No, he has 3 from another.
3 from another, one
with
her,
one, and a stepchild.
and a stepchild.
Yeah.
Right. That this guy would be in charge of one of those Shriners cars would be something scary to me. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't trust this guy just watching a golf cart while I went and took a piss. I think I'd come back and it'd be on fire. You know what I mean? This guy's got himself 4.5 kids to look after. You want to know what's wrong with this country?
There you go.
That's it. This guy's got 3 kids, and no one's going to say a goddamn thing to him. He can have as many as he wants. It's a free country. That's the great thing. All right. Garrett Wang is here. He plays Officer Harry Kim in the Star Trek Voyager series, 100th episode tomorrow night, UPN, 9 o'clock. And we're going to take ourselves a little break. That's so funny. We even start to think about a break. Drew gets up and starts taking care of business. You know what I mean? Drew, what kind of commitment is that to your job where I just mention break and you're up making personal calls?
He got paged.
Can you believe that we get paid the same amount? Can you believe that? Doesn't seem fair, does it? All right, we'll take a break. Does Picard get paid the same amount? Is like an extra on that show? No, I don't think so. All right, we'll be back.
All right. Okay. The phone number for Loveline is 1-800-LOVE-191. Loveline, I'll be right back.
Hey, well, put your headphones on there, Garrett. Garrett Wang is here from Star Trek Voyager, 100th episode. It's a big to-do, too. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, UPN. Dr. Drew's in the other room, speaking to God knows who, through God knows what, doing the doctoral thing, but he'll be back here to help us out. We were just talking about LeVar Burton during the commercial break there. He directed
the 100th episode, Timeless, right?
Does he direct any of the other episodes?
Yeah, he's directed other episodes. He's directed an episode of Deep Space Nine, of Next Generation when he was on that show. And he also has his children's show, Reading Rainbow. It's still been going on. I mean, the man's jack of all trades.
Yeah, we were just talking about, I don't know, I'm trying to think what year Roots came out, but I'd go with like 77, maybe 78. 77, 78?
Yeah, late 7.
I remember seeing him on that, and the thing is, I haven't seen the guy in person ever, but to me, he looks exactly the same as he did when I was 12.
He aged well, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think he stayed out of the sun and hasn't led a stress-filled life. Heather.
Hey.
Hey, you're 18.
Yeah.
What's going on?
My parents have been using prescription drugs for a while now. I'd say it's probably been on and off for like maybe 5 years.
What kind of prescription drugs?
Well, regular, like, my dad has a heart condition, but more serious, like opiates like Demerol, Tylenol 3 with codeine, muscle relaxants, Carispratal, stuff like that.
I don't know any of those.
They're like downers, basically.
Right. Well, I know codeine and all that muscle relaxant stuff.
Demerol is like...
I know Demerol.
Yeah, and then Carispratal...
These are all things I'm planning on getting into later in my career.
Yeah, they're real fun. I stole some once, but...
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Drew's not here, but I know if he was here, he'd tell you how important it was to wash that down with beer.
No, that's not...
It's like holding a magnifying glass to
I know better than that.
Effective agent of the drug. It really gets that much more effective.
Well, that was when I was like 15. So.
All right, so they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, and well, especially lately. My mom, last March, she broke her back, and then last December, she had back surgery, and then she broke it.
Yeah.
And like the vertebrae slipped out, and she's in incredible pain still, and I know that those drugs are highly addictive. I don't know how to go about like dealing with that or...
All right, well, here's the problem. Drew's in the other room on the phone probably addressing this very same problem, but with one of his own patients.
Okay.
Here's what I do know. and then we'll put you on hold, and we'll see if Drew can't clear it up.
Okay.
Because I sit next to the guy, and once in a while I listen, usually with my left ear, because that's the side he's on. These are highly addictive drugs. Just because they're over-the-counter doesn't really make them different than other drugs. They're just as addictive. People get hooked on these things, and getting off them is just as hard as getting off of any other drug.
Yeah.
And it takes rehab. And really the same thing you'd have to do to get off cocaine or alcohol or whatever other drug. All the same rules apply here.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to be, that's what's in store for them if they want to get away from these drugs.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Heather over here, as it turns out, parents into a lot of prescription drugs, Demerol. What else?
Well, my dad doesn't take Demerol. He takes, like, Roxaset, Tylenol 3 with codeine.
What was the first thing? Roxanol?
Roxaset.
Roxaset.
That was a band from the 80s, wasn't it?
It's morphine.
It's like...
Wasn't that that blonde chick?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
Keep it down.
No, that's Roxette. That's Roxette.
All right.
But, yeah, and then, like, my dad also takes heart medication. My mom takes Zoloft on top. She just started taking Zoloft.
Yeah, but give the good, what's the painkiller? Demerol?
Demerol, yeah. She's and amitriptyline.
She's taking Demerol?
Yeah.
So they're both opioid addicts.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they are or not.
Heather?
Yeah.
How often do they do these drugs?
Well, that's the thing is that it's...
See them start backpedaling as soon as Drew comes in the room? I had her completely convinced that they're both addicts.
No, I know. They could be, but see, it's not. They're not doing it for recreational use. My dad has.
What do you think a pharmaceutical addict is? It's somebody who has a medical problem and gets strung out on drugs.
Yeah, exactly. They have a medical problem.
Yeah, and they get strung out on drugs.
All right. So what does she do?
Go to Alateen because you're in this. These are very difficult problems to treat, and if they are not motivated to treatment or their caretakers are not pushing them in that direction, oh boy, this is a slippery slope they're on, and the best you can hope for is sort of stability, peace.
Hey, Garrett,
because it can erupt into a big mess, and it should continue progressing. Even in the best of circumstances, there's continued consequences with time. What some doctors do in these chronic, I'm just saying real quickly, these chronic pain situations where people must be on opiates for whatever reason, they need regular, careful, high degree of structure and follow-up that just keeps them kind of structured and contained. Without that, and even with that, most of the time things progress and things start to happen.
Let me ask.
She can go to Alateen.
Let me ask Garrett a question. They ever deal with this in Star Trek Voyager? Is there any drugs in space? Does anyone ever get into the medicine cabinet?
You know, not that I can't remember. We might have had a couple of episodes where we might have touched upon something like that, you know, where a character was offered, you know, to try some type of stress reliever, you know, and then, but nothing in depth.
What year is Star Trek Voyager supposed to be in?
You know what? Honestly, I don't know.
It's in star dates, Adam.
Yeah, it's in star dates.
Well, because Drew and I were having this conversation.
24th century.
We're having this conversation, and I've had this conversation with a few people, which is there's something about the year 2000 that throughout the years, especially in the 70s and early 80s, when people sat down and wrote a science fiction film, there was something magical about the date 2000. Meaning, if it was 1985, the year 2002, well, that wasn't just 17 years away. It's somehow when we got to 2000 would add 100 years, and so technology would be completely different.
Right.
So they'd say, like, they'd have that thing on the screen that said the year 2011, and everyone was traveling in hovercraft.
Right. That's right.
Even though we've all been driving the same car for the last 75 years, somehow 13 years from now, everyone's making the switch to the hovercraft.
Right.
And we're all living in space, and we've colonized everything. And I thought, it's because of the year 2000. Somehow, even though chronologically it's just one more year, in the way it works, it registers in the human brain, and I think in the pens of the science fiction writers, it somehow is 50 years
Well, it's
further
also
along.
how fast stuff evolved in the last 30. It was up to about 1980, about that 40 years there where technology just cranked.
Right. So we assumed that by the year 2000, here's the kind of life we would be living. But the reality is everyone still drives a car. Everyone has a keychain. No one puts their thumb against some sort of scanner thing, and then the door opens in the house. It's one of those like camera aperture doors, like an airlock, and we all
Unless
slide
you're
through.
Bill Gates,
Right, then you...
his house is fairly automated, yeah.
We all drive cars with internal combustion engines that run off the same gasoline, minus the lead that our grandfather's cars drove with 4 rubber tires with some air in them. I mean, there's not huge transport is you got a boat, you got a train, you got a plane, you got a car. That's about it. A little bit faster, a little bit safer, a little bit nicer. But really, in the last 20, 25 years, not much change.
The big change, they've just understood now how to handle plastic.
Right.
What to do with it.
The thing I have always discovered about movies in the future is there's 2 things that have been eliminated from the future. One, doors with hinges. There's no longer need for doors with hinges. And I was saying to Drew the other day when I was yelling at him in the back of some limo when we were God knows where, doors have been on hinges. You think about the concept of the door. 2,000 years worth of the same door. I mean, go back to the medieval times. Whenever, it was a door. And it had, back in the day, probably had a piece of leather or something as a hinge. But as soon as we got into the Iron Age or the Bronze Age or whatever, the first thing that was made out of iron or bronze was a hinge. The second was a knocker, and the third was one of those peak poles that made everyone look fat. But the point is the door swung open, and then you swung the door closed behind you. Why we thought 20 years from now we completely eliminate the door, because they're apparently in space or in the future, there's no more doors. That's how you know. It's like they either slide or there's that aperture thing, like that camera thing. The other thing that's eliminated, denim. There's no denim. Somehow, 11 years from now, when we get in the year 2010, all denim will be erased. Although guys have been wearing Levi's and some form of denim for what seems like at least 150 years. Somehow, in the next 9 years, we're going to erase all denim and all memory of denim. We'll kill those who talk about denim openly. All right, I'm sorry, Garrett.
That's all right.
Remains supreme.
Right. And all dress will become one piece. Everyone's going to get in a jumpsuit, and it's going to be easy. There's also some fantasy about in the future we're going to dress whatever makes the most sense. You know what I mean? Whatever's easiest to climb in and out of.
Well, there will be no such thing as style. We're trying to get over that.
We'll be over style, which... No, I don't know if we're going to get past that either.
Our suits, we have no pockets, and
right?
And we are supposedly have no zippers, also.
Right. There'll be no taking a leak. You have to actually pull those things around your ankles to take a whiz. There are no bushes in space either. It really cuts down on the whole whiz thing. All right, we're going to take ourselves a little break. Garrett Wang is here from Star Trek Voyager. We'll be back.
Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew. We're going to take a quick 10-second top of the hour break. And we'll be right back with more Loveline in 10 seconds.
This is Loveline on
radio station
92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.
It is the Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Garrett Wang is here from Star Trek Voyager, Wednesday nights, UPN, 9 o'clock, Officer Harry Kim. 100th episode, the 100th episode of Star Trek Voyager will air tomorrow night. And it's they've gone way out of their way to make it a special episode. Is that correct?
That's right.
Shouldn't you have worked that hard during the other 99? We bust our ass on every episode of Loveline, don't we, Drew? Drew, do we ever even know when we did 100th episode?
We're on, 260 now or something?
Yeah, we're on like 250. We've been on the show. We've been on the air for 15 minutes. It's horrible. And you know what's weird about our show is 200th, 100th, 250th, 300th. It doesn't matter. No one says anything.
You never count it.
Don't. Just bad coincidence.
People's concept of what we do on television is very interesting. I did the pre-interview for Conan today, and they're like, well, how do you feel walking around MTV, being 40 years old? I'm like, I don't walk around MTV. I don't even anywhere near MTV.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute.
You you hang out with Carson Daly or go over videos, or you're part of the video selection process at all? It's like, are you kidding? MTV's in New York, we're in LA, they won't even let us into the building. Believe you me, we sit on some stinky soundstage in Hollywood, and we don't see anybody from MTV, do we? But they're all delightful people, I'm sure. Let me just tell you that, Vanilla Ice tomorrow night. I'll be interested in talking to him.
Oh, wow, Jewel on Thursday?
I saw his movie, Drew.
Real?
Yeah, Jewel will be in here on Thursday.
Oh, and you're going to be just, oh.
What? I'm going to be tired.
Not just tired, but you know how you get when you're tired.
Like it mean or horny? Mean and horny?
Worse.
What are you talking about?
All of that. You just get so irascible.
You'll be nice to Jewel,
I'll be
right?
very nice to her.
Yeah.
Yes, Love and Rockets next week. Howie Mandel. Rob Blake and Luke Robitaille. Well, that'll be good. And then, thank God, Thanksgiving. All right, so anyway, Garrett Wang tonight. Star Trek Voyager, 100th episode tomorrow night. Don't miss it. As a matter of fact, even if you don't watch a show and you never saw any of the 99, you should watch the 100th to say you saw the 100th episode of anything that comes out.
There you go.
All right. Jen.
Yeah.
You're 17.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, my best friend was raped by her boyfriend, and she told me, and I swore that I wouldn't tell anyone else. And, well, she said that she doesn't want to turn him in because she loves him. And I was like, well, if he loves you so much, and you love him so much, why would he rape you? And I don't know if I should tell somebody or just, like, let her deal with it how she wants to.
How old is she?
She's 16.
How old is he?
What?
How old is he?
He's 18.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
And what does she say? Is this the first time they had sex?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
It's the first time she's had sex.
Mm-hmm.
He forced himself on her.
Yeah.
Is there any chance he's pregnant?
No, she said they had protection and everything, so.
Oh, that's nice. It's always weird when I hear about rape with a condom. It's kind of like, I'm gonna kill you, but let me spread this blanket down. I don't want you to ruin your coat.
No, what she said happened was like they were going to, but then she said that she didn't want to. She wasn't ready yet, and so but he said, like.
At what point did he push? Did she say no?
I don't know.
Was he just about to penetrate her, and then she decided no? And
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Jen. Listen, we'll get 100 letters if I don't call everything rape. So we'll just call this rape too. But I don't know if you should get involved with this one. It's different than other circumstances. It's not good, and this guy's not a criminal, but...
Repeat that.
What do you mean?
You said he's not a criminal.
He's not a criminal.
Right.
That's how I got into radio. I should have went to college. I really should have.
He is potentially a criminal. There's a lot of questionable behavior here on both parts. It sounds pretty chaotic. It sounds pretty confused. Your friend needs to be somehow brought to some sort of adult interaction, some sort of adult intervention.
Well, she's like afraid to tell her parents because her parents are like total Christians, and if they even found out about it.
It's interesting that she'd think, I better tell my parents, right, Anna?
We'll say that again.
My parents are strict Christians.
She doesn't want.
I don't know how to tell my parents.
Well, she does. She's not going to tell her parents. I know you're reading something into that, Mr. Brow Boy over there. You should have seen Drew's brows. They're up higher than his hairline on that one. No, her parents are religious. She doesn't want to tell them. What? All right. Hey, Jen?
Yeah.
How religious are her parents?
Like, she wasn't allowed to start dating till she was 15. And, like, I don't know. She has to go to church every Sunday.
Yeah. Does she not like her parents?
No, she loves her parents. She just doesn't want to tell them this because they'll flip out and they'll just...
Right. Okay. See, Drew, I'm not getting your vibe.
All right. She's got to tell somebody, though, because she needs some help in dealing with this. This is not a... This is a disturbed situation. I mean, she's going to stay with this guy who violated her trust, who may be a rapist. She's having sex when she doesn't want to. It's a mess, and she needs some supervision and help in getting through this. And you need to be a supportive friend and make sure she gets to the help. And let the adults decide what does and does not need to be reported, but it needs to happen soon.
Let me explain something to you young girls out there when it comes to young guys and having sex. I don't know why, but I'm picturing Major League Baseball. And here's the deal. When you're in the batter's box, you have a sort of window where you can call timeout and put your left hand up or your right hand up, signal the umpire timeout. He'll call timeout, and you can step out of the box and get whatever's in your eye out of there. But there is a point, and it's about when the pitcher starts going into his windup. You can put your hand up all you want. You can step out of the box. It doesn't matter. Pitch, strike 3, you're out. That hand has to go up earlier than when the guy begins his windup. And I think this guy started into his windup, and she put her hand up. And he still should stop. Don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you, you young girls that are dating older guys and you think it'd be nice to go out camping with them or something, or lie to your folks, sneak out of the place and take a little ride in his van. Once he starts that windup, a lot of guys don't stop. They just keep going. And then they go right for the rosin bag when they're done, you know, Drew? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they can't contain much less intense impulses. They certainly can't contain that one.
Right.
A lot of guys.
A lot of guys. Garrett, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. It turns into basically an animal instinct at that point, you know?
Yes. And women, I know you don't like to hear that, and I'm not making excuses for guys, but I'm telling you, at 18, don't ignore the biology. Don't think you can go out, drive up to the lake, get in the back of the car with a guy, get things rolling, and then stop. Be prepared. He's going to want to keep going.
But also, I love him. And
so don't put yourself into that position.
This guy that's violated me and abused me, I love him. I want to stay with him. I want to protect him.
Right.
It sounds like you got to listen to those Monica Lewinsky tapes. They are just fascinating.
I don't want to listen to those because I feel I feel like I'm getting on board and voyeuristic, and I'd rather just watch my porn. Speaking of voyeurism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a porn interruption.
I understand.
PI.
Pornus interruptus, yes.
Yeah.
But it's out there, it's well organized on the web, and it is interesting to hear the two of them.
Well, what happened? How do they know each other, Monica and Linda?
They're friends of sorts. I mean, they knew each other from work, I guess it was.
Really?
Yeah. She was one of the people that she confided in about these things.
Isn't that Linda Tripp in her, 80s or something?
Well, that's what a lot of the discussion
was.
50s? A lot of the stuff I heard in the tapes was, Monica, if you were my age, you'd see it more clearly what this guy's all about and what he's doing to you. And Monica, no, he's wonderful. I'd protect him. I'm going to lie for him, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He'd be like lying for she goes, you'd lie for your family, wouldn't you, under oath? And Linda goes, I'd do anything for my kids, but if they got that point that I'd lie for them under oath, I'm not going to lie for him and let him take the consequences. And Mark goes, that's not the kind of person I am. I'd lie. I'd protect my family. And there you go.
Well, let me ask you this. Maybe Garrett knows something about this. I mean, he's on the Star Trek Voyage. I'm sure he knows what's going on. Are you following what's going on here on Earth?
I've been in the Delta Quadrant for too long, so, you know.
Why, I know we're constantly, as a nation, we're always screaming for more information and freedom of information and all this kind of stuff. And there's certain things I think that are important for us to know about as a country and a society. And there's certain things that the people need to be kept abreast of. But there are other things that seem like personal stuff.
You should be left alone.
Do we need to know everything? I mean, here's what I can't figure out. I got a tape, let's say, me giving Drew a blowjob. Hypothetical, Drew. And, I put it in my VCR, and some guy comes over to repair the VCR, and he takes the VCR, he looks at the tape, he recognizes Drew, he sees the shadowy, brillowy head on Drew's groin, he realizes it's me, so he takes it, and he gives it to one of these internet companies, and they decide to sell it over the internet. Now, I try to get a judge to intervene and get the thing off the internet, but the judge says no. No, it's their right. They stole it fair and square, and they can show you doing all these despicable acts all over the internet. What is that? I mean, why is that? Doesn't that seem to be what's going on? I mean, if Monica Lewinsky said, hey, that was taped without me knowing it, and I want an injunction on that. I don't want it released to anybody. It's embarrassing, and I was unaware that I was being recorded, which I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a law. It's certainly a law in California that you can't call, like we can't call somebody up on the radio station, not tell them they're on the air. You have to be told. That's why when you listen to all those radio shows, those morning shows, and people are playing along, they're playing along. there's a law that says you got to tell people they're on the air. So how can stuff be released this way? Why is everything fair game now? And didn't this just seem to happen like in the last year and a half? Sort of that anything anyone does and somebody gets hold of can be spread out all over the country, over the internet, over the TV, whatever, and no one can do anything about it anymore? Does Monica Lewinsky want these tapes spread out? And if she doesn't, why are they?
I don't know why we're getting sidetracking Monica. We hate doing that. But another is two things about that. One, a patient of mine was on a plane with her yesterday. And apparently they buy a whole bank in the front of the plane. And when they're pulling up to the gate, they stop the plane just before the gate, bring up a stair, take her off it, and put her in a car and take her off.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she can't go through the airport?
Who pays for that?
Her publisher. Yeah. Somebody, Barbara Walters or something. Wow. I mean, she doesn't even...
She doesn't go off the gangplank. She goes...
Maybe she's too heavy for the gangplank.
Pull up a stairway, and they have a police car come up and take her, and that's it.
Those things are only rated to, a certain amount of pounds per square foot.
Linda Tripp brought up an interesting point in this little discussion she was having with her, though, that, it's one thing... I agree with this. I would take a bullet for my kids, but if they were doing stuff that required me to lie under oath, they'd have to take the consequences. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, then, put that on a card, engineer Mike.
Play it back in 10 years.
Yeah. We'll see when one of them turns into like a heroin mule and is running drugs in for the Contras. Pat.
Yep, what's up?
You're 15.
Yep.
What's going on?
Nothing really. Well, I'm like kind of having trouble in school. Like I used to always do real good until like the past couple of years. And I was wondering if it had something to do with my dad being an alcoholic.
The most common reason for somebody your age to suddenly fall off a cliff in terms of their grades is depression. So if your dad...
Well, I'm not like falling off a cliff at all. I'm not like, I was getting like A's and B's. Now I'm getting like, C's and...
That's a pretty good drop, Pat. That's a falling off a cliff. I'm not saying go from A's to F's, but just, taking a big jump down. The most common reason is depression. And somebody your age doesn't typically feel sad necessarily when they're depressed. They can have sleep disturbance, appetite disturbance, compulsive thoughts.
Number 2 cause of that is?
Yeah.
Stupidity.
Yeah.
Just being dumb.
All right. Not doing your schoolwork.
Right.
Drugs and alcohol would be probably the number 2 reason you're
I don't do anything.
I understand. But your dad creating a lot of pain in your life certainly is a reason.
He's not like, he was like, he's still an alcoholic, but he's not active. He hasn't drank for like 17 or 18 years, which is like before I was born. But I just don't know if it like still was causing problems.
Is he in recovery?
Yeah. Well, he goes to AA meetings like once a week still.
Pat, you're stretching a little bit here. The guy quit boozing before you were born.
Yeah,
well, I just don't know because like sometimes he just like gets real like moody and stuff. And
yeah, but lots of parents do that. I wouldn't.
It's like
he may not be the ideal parent, but I'm not sure that parent exists.
Yeah.
And usually,
I don't know, but
usually alcoholics in recovery are pretty healthy people, especially somebody who's been in recovery that long and still remains active in the program.
Yeah, but I was like trying to think of everything, and
no, kind of normal sometimes. I mean, common to get depressed in your age group. I don't know. I don't know what I'd be depressed over though. Well, just being 15. The biological changes of being an adolescent, the social stressors, your parents, God knows what kind of dynamic issues are going on there. Does your mom go to Al-Anon still?
Yeah, she does. They go at the same time every
night. All right, Garrett, start
Garrett.
studying, would you?
Garrett.
Pat.
You call him Garrett. I call him Garrett.
Garrett, Pat.
Yeah, try to focus on things that make you feel worthwhile about yourself and feel good and find meaning in, and focus on those things and see if you can't restore your mood a little bit, and then get to work on school.
Garrett Wang, our guest, just trying to work the Garrett in. He went to UCLA. He majored in Asian studies. That seems like a cop-out.
You want the game on
You're
Saturday?
Asian, aren't you?
It's like going from France and majoring in French.
People do that,
I know.
by the way.
Oh, I know.
Be like me studying Valley guys or something.
Yeah, but you got to understand, I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, so I didn't really know much about who I was or where my people are from, And
so that's his rap there, Adam. You got it.
Rap.
Where are you people from?
I guess my parents are Chinese. I'm Chinese American. I was born here, but they were born outside of the country.
Is Kim Chinese, or could be Korean,
Kim is
right?
Korean. Kim is Korean last name, that's correct.
Oh, Kim's Korean. No Chinese with the Kim, huh?
Well, Kim is the same as Chin in Chinese, Chin. What happened was, very interesting story. There was an emperor of China. His name was Qingshi Huangdi. He was
you see where this Asian study things is it's not paying dividends.
Wait, hey, listen.
He was the first big emperor of China. He's the one that built the Great Wall of China. At the time, Korea was paying tribute to China as well as Japan, and this emperor decreed that he wanted everybody in Korea to have his last name, Chin, and Kim is the translation of Chin into Korean. So therefore you have a lot of Koreans with Kim as a last name.
That's a nice decree. Imagine if his name was Feigenbaum or something like that. Carolla.
Or Farfignugan, something like that.
Everyone would have to have his last name.
Yeah.
When I grew up, I didn't know the difference. I grew up in North Hollywood. To me, all Asians were Japanese, and all food that wasn't Mexican or or Italian was just Chinese food.
Yeah.
Just Chinese food. It was all. And even well into my 20s, I didn't know that Japanese was. I'm trying to think of but the sushi, and that Chinese was pork fried rice or something like that. To me, it was just it was all Japanese, or it was all Chinese food. Anything that had rice in it, Chinese food. And then the whole then the whole Thai thing got mixed in, and it was a real disaster.
Wait a minute, you grew up in North Hollywood?
I grew up in North Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't have. I mean, you had to have Asians in your high school.
We let a handful in just so we could win the math competition each year. But
nice!
Then we bust them all out.
Here we go. The curve-breaking stereotype comes out here.
Hey, what a stereotype, though. Good math. That's not a bad stereotype. No, I'm trying to think. I played. There's two. Let's see. I played football with a dude named Chung Hua. Chung Hua was. I think he was Chinese. Is that...
It sounds like Chinese. It could be Korean, maybe.
Chung Hua did not speak a whole lot of English. And Chung Hua was such a big dude. Chung Hua's calves were so big that Chung Hua wore the thigh pad. Now, those of you who know football know that thigh pad is the hard one. It's sort of serrate. It's got a few lumps on it, and it rides right on top of the thigh there, and it's hard. You can hit it with a bat, and it's wide. I mean, it's a big, broad pad. Chung Hua wore one inside of his sock to protect his shin.
A shin protector.
Now, anyone who knows anything knows that if you slid one of those inside your sock, it would be like taping a Frisbee to the front of your shin to protect your shin. It'd just be dangling there. There'd be 6 inches on either side of it. He filled that thing out, Chung Hua did.
Wow.
That's a big dude. And,
this is in high school.
This is in high school. Chung Hua would, break stuff, like karate chop stuff, and break bricks and stuff. And, it was weird, but we did, a drill with him once. And he didn't talk much. He just smiled, nodded, And we just sort of point him in the direction of the opposing quarterback and tell him to go, kill, sick, whatever Chinese for kill is. We'd just yell that at him, and he'd go do it. And I remember one time we were doing a drill where everyone was lined up, and the coach was doing this thing. He wasn't really paying attention. All right, we're going to run this tackling drill. 6 you over here, 6 you over there. Line up, get in a 3-point stance. I'll snap the ball. Now, just half speed, everybody. I don't want to get anybody hurt. Let's just warm up. We'll just go half speed. We'll work on some technique. And Chung Hua was in front of me, and he was just smiling and nodding. And I remember thinking, I started to raise my hand, and he was like, and he got down, and he was starting to bark the cadence out. All right, down, set. And I stopped. I said, I don't think Chung Hua knows half. Chung Hua, half speed, right? You know that?
And he nodded.
Just blew your ass out
and ran you over.
Yeah. Chung Hua was the one Asian guy, and then there was Richard Kim. Now Richard Kim, there was the Richard Kim incident, as we call it.
Maybe we should hear about it after the break.
Let me just spit the Richard Kim incident out. Richard Kim was running for student body president or something in the 11th grade, and nobody really knew him that well. He was a bit of a character. He sort of wore a short sleeve shirts with ties and carried an attaché case, and this is 1981, and
a little
it's
eccentric,
not going. The Duran Duran looks in, and Richard's got the shoes with the buckle on it, and he's wearing the Hager slacks, and he's a big, heavy-set guy, and he's smiling and laughing, and people know him, but they're kind of making fun of him. And we had the election, we had the assembly, and everyone gets up there and makes their speech. And we had the election assembly because it was raining so hard, like in the gymnasium that year. And then they let all the kids out of class, and they all attend. There's like 1,500 people in this auditorium. And Richard Kim comes up to the podium, which is basically where the tip-off is on the basketball games, on a little riser, and he's going to address the audience. And people are kind of tired and goofy, and he gets up there and he starts to speak, and someone just yells, "We love you, Richard!" And then like some guy, "Richard!" And then the whole place starts chanting, "Richard, Richard!" And the people are stomping their feet, and it's this mob mentality. No one even really likes the guy, but somebody started chanting Richard, and everyone started chanting Richard, and the place is rocking now. People banging their feet on the bleachers, "Richard, Richard!" And everyone starts to calm down. Okay, then Richard gets back up to the microphone and starts into his platform, and someone yells, "We love you, Richard!" And the Richard Kim chant starts again, and everyone's just chanting Richard, Rich. And now the faculty's getting involved. They're like flicking the lights on and off, and naturally, as soon as the faculty grabs the horn, "All right, we all get 5 minutes to give our speech. We've had enough of your shenanigans and tomfoolery. Now we're going to let Richard make his speech, and then we're going to bring on our next candidate. Richard, here's the microphone." Well, naturally, the Richard Kim chant starts again. Richard never did get a speech out. It was just chant of Richard Kim, just the Richard. Did
he win?
Did he win?
No, I don't think he won. No one cared. We were just chanting Richard and screwing with him. Kids are weird when they're bored. If they get onto one thing and realize they're pissing someone off, that's it. Now they're all about it.
Your time is up.
All right. We'll take ourselves a little break. I'll explain to Garrett more about the Asian culture.
Thank you.
From the North Hollywood perspective after this.
Loveline will be right back.
Hey, Loveline. Garrett Wang is here from Star Trek Voyager. He plays Officer Harry Kim. Wednesday nights, UPN, 9 o'clock. Tomorrow, 100th episode. And we wish you 100 more. We truly do.
And now we're going to start going through calls.
Yeah, Ann's pissed. I told the Richard Kim story. Say the guy wore a thigh pad.
All right, let's go. I
More
heard.
Chung Hua.
Right on his shin. Tim.
Tim?
Hello.
Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. First of all, just Adam and Drew want to say I love you guys' show. I think you guys are great.
Thanks.
Garrett, big fan of Voyager. Just want to know, do you know how many seasons they're going to go with Voyager, and if they're going to take you guys into the movie theaters and whatnot?
Right now, I guess they're planning on 2 more seasons after this season. We're currently in our 5th season. Whether or not we're going to go into the films, that's another question. I'm assuming they will after we finish the TV run.
So they're going to take you into probably like 7 seasons?
Yeah, 7 total, and then we'll probably start doing some type of film.
Do you think they'll ever hook up Harry with 7?
No plans for that right now, though. We're shooting an episode where Harry has a alien love story going on, so he falls in love with an alien woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you.
Tim?
Yeah.
You, what's your favorite series of the Star Trek series?
Overall, the one I like the best was just Next Generation. No offense, Garrett.
Yeah,
That's all right.
You couldn't come through with the Voyager there?
Well, Voyager's second best by far.
All right.
Remember, we're moving through calls here.
Yeah, Adam.
That's right. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to line a little something up for the guests.
Here you go, next call.
Hey,
The next call.
what movies? Isn't there a Star Trek movie coming out?
Yeah, Star Trek Insurrection. That's what the Next Generation crew, the cast.
Oh, those bastards. Someone's got to get rid of them, and you guys start doing movies. Eric.
Yeah, Adam. First of all, I just want to say that on most of your tirades, I think you're right on. But you kind of gave the wrong impression with your rape and baseball parallel. I mean, I know you understand that guys need to stop when a woman says no. It doesn't matter what point it is or how old those guys are. But I think some of these guys hearing you talk are going to say, well, that's right. I mean, it's a natural bestial instinct, and we got to go for it. Well, we're winding up for the pitch. And what these guys don't realize is even if...
Well, let's define when the pitch is being thrown. Where is that point?
Well, I did sort of preface that by saying, ladies, listen up. Yeah. Here's how the male biology works.
The point you're making is that the probability of actually getting a guy to stop is substantially less at a certain point in the behavior.
Exactly.
But let's try to define what that point is.
Well,
because I was thinking you were talking about it like just at about the point of penetration.
Yeah.
That's when it's not going to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as much time as in actual baseball time, pretty much. Somewhere between 15 and 45 seconds, which is you got to get your hand up. Hey, Eric, listen to me. All guys who are listening to this show should know where we stand on this.
Yeah, they should, Adam. But think about your callers. I mean, like you've said.
Yeah, but listen, if our callers, here's the deal, all you a-holes out there, not you, Eric, but potentially you. It's not fair to call this show and say your callers only listen to the bad stuff, because we say a lot of good stuff too. Do you know what I mean?
You guys do great work. I'm not doubting that at all.
Don't attack Eric.
No, I don't mean to attack Eric. But what I'm saying is if a caller listens, if somebody listens to this show, we say don't do this, don't do that, don't do anything. And then once in a while, I explain, in my opinion, the way it is about something. Now, to say they would grab that one thing and run with it isn't fair, because if they're going to grab things and run with it, they would have grabbed other things as well. Maybe I didn't articulate myself the way I wanted to, but you know what I'm saying?
Eric, you haven't finished your point, so go ahead and finish the point.
Basically, my one point is, and the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I had a best friend about 3 years ago who was raped, and she subsequently killed herself because she couldn't deal with it, and they never caught the guy, so I'm kind of intense on this subject. But it doesn't matter at what point a woman decides, or a man for that matter, decides that they want to stop. I mean, they could already be 10 minutes into having sex. If she says no...
That's twice for me, by the way.
We by the way, totally agree with you, Eric. So I'm glad you clarified this. That's why I went right to this call. Because we want to be really clear about this. But it is by way of advice about how males behave that this was brought up at all.
Yes.
Let's state it again. Go ahead. At what point should this...
Oh, please, Drew. You sound like McGruff. At any point a woman says stop, you should stop.
Exactly.
Any point a man says stop, you should stop. You know, at any point anyone says stop, you stop.
And that point, I think, really needs to be emphasized here.
Well,
that's what we're doing.
I mean, there's too much date rape. There is too much rape. There's too much of all this BS that's going on all the time, and nobody really gives it a second thought, you know?
No, I disagree, though. I think our society has done a fair amount of publicity and a strong enough campaign on no means no kind of thing over the last few years. I mean, I think people are aware of this. Whether
the real problem
being
is
aware of it and stopping are two different things, but I think they're aware of it.
The real problem is that there's no education of how to detect people who are at risk, and for somebody to assess themselves and what might put themselves in a position of victimization.
Right.
You know, that the caller we had earlier was the rape call was, but I'm staying with him because I love him. All right, there's a huge set of issues there,
right,
well beyond the rape issue that also needs to be emphasized to these people.
Yes. Understand there's an a-hole in every corner. There's a rapist on every other corner. That's what I'm going to tell my daughter. And it's up to you. Bob.
Yeah, hey.
You're 16.
Yep.
What's going on?
Well, I've known this kid for like my whole life. He was my best friend, but along the line, he got annoying and stuff because he thinks he's Beavis or something. But so anyway, he met his girlfriend like 2 years ago, and he's like all into her and stuff. And I used to hang out with him, but I felt like a third wheel. But this past summer, I kind of like hooked up with her, and we were like, you know, getting it on and stuff. So then I got punished by my parents because I had alcohol poisoning, and she stopped hanging out with me. and then she started hanging out with all these like other guys and stuff, and like probably was having sex with them.
Right.
And she has unprotected sex with her boyfriend. And
this guy who was your best friend.
He was, yeah. I mean, he's an acquaintance now. I give him a ride to school and everything. But I can't. It's like I want to tell him, but
should you?
Yeah, and
both from the standpoint
and it would probably come out that I was doing her all summer, so that wouldn't be too good either.
What happened with the alcohol poisoning? You got hold of a bad batch of gin, or
no,
did you drink too much?
I mean, it was like I didn't know a pint of brandy on an empty stomach in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Would do that, but I learned my lesson on that one.
All right. Did you start projectile vomiting and everything?
I guess. I don't know. I don't remember.
It went out completely. Now he makes sure to drink it over 2 or 3 hours.
No, I just stick to beer.
He didn't understand the chaser
You're
concept.
16. You're 16. For crying out loud, and you smoke a little pipe.
No, I don't actually.
Really?
When I was a freshman,
Oh, okay.
Listen, let me tell you something. When you're 16, that back when I was a sophomore, back when I was a freshman, not quite the excuse it is at 40. You know what I mean? You're 16 years old. You can no longer, you can't refer to a point in your education and talk about the good old days when you're in the 10th grade.
It was a big change from freshman to sophomore year, though, because all my friends dropped out of school.
I understand, but I can still hear the residual effects in your voice and your thinking and your laugh. It's very easy to detect. It'll wear off another year or so if you stop drinking.
All right, Bob.
Yeah.
How'd your parents punish you?
I was like in the house for like 2 months.
How's the rest?
Yeah, they're cool. They're good parents and stuff.
One of them drinks a little bit too, huh?
Yeah, my dad goes to the bar like on Sunday just to watch football.
Yeah, he goes to watch football. Leave him alone.
That's it. No, then he just comes home, goes right to bed, so he doesn't get on anybody's nerves.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
He knows his limits. All right. What teams he follow?
Like the Chargers or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want him coming home drunk after a big Charger loss. I'm saying she likes those Chargers. All right, so Bob, don't tell him. Leave him alone. No, listen. Tell him what? You're banging around with his girlfriend?
Well, I wasn't going to tell him I was.
Well, don't worry. You'll get drawn into the mix soon enough.
Yeah, but
just stay out of there. Get out of there. Forget it. You don't like the guy.
You think so?
Look, he's just an acquaintance now.
He's got a lot of stuff, Bob.
He does?
He's a burgeoning alcoholic.
Oh, he drank a pint of rum.
He is.
True, I did that. I did that with a white wine, threw up all over everybody.
How old were you?
29.
Okay.
No, I was 16.
No.
What are you talking about?
This is alcohol poisoning. Alcohol coma.
He didn't have an alcohol coma. He had a poisoning.
He was hospitalized, I bet you.
Bob?
Yes.
Were you hospitalized?
Yeah, but I wasn't in a coma.
I was
just unconscious.
That's the same thing.
It is?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I'm going to go to bed tonight and be unconscious, and then I'll wake up when the alarm goes off.
But when he's unconscious,
is it a mini coma?
He is
coma?
Unresponsive to his environment. That's a coma.
Hold on a second, Wiseacre. I've had many a buddy pass out on booze to the point where you can kick them in the nards and they didn't respond.
That's potentially alcohol coma.
Yeah, but it's not a coma. I wouldn't call that a coma. It's not fair to the people that are really in comas, Drew, to say my buddy Chris passed out on the Mexican border. He was in a coma.
Yeah, but anything your friends did is not.
All right, he's going to go look up
anybody else.
He's going to go look up coma. All right, I'll explain drinking white wine. I not only threw up on the sweater I was wearing that I borrowed from a friend of mine, but I threw up on his sweater, too, which was the other sweater in the pair of sweaters that he had. So I actually got both this guy's sweaters in the back of a VW Squareback. We'll be back.
A state of profound unconsciousness caused by poison or injury.
You know what I'm talking about, Drew. We'll be back.
Loveline will be right back.
Turn that down a little, would you? No? Garrett Wang is here. Wednesday nights, UPN, 9 o'clock. Star Trek Voyager tomorrow night, 100th episode. You know, I think it's always funny about this show that I laugh, I tell people about. People enjoy my rants. Most people do, but not here. Drew don't like it. Ann don't like it. Mike doesn't like it.
No, I don't mind them. I just don't know that other people like them. It's my problem.
I got to tell you, they're... my seed will find no purchase here in the...
No,
there you go.
Like them. I like them.
That's... Laura? As soon as I step outside the studio, people are very complimentary. It's just a little... It's a tough house in here.
Laura.
Yeah?
What's up?
Well, I feel kind of silly calling because I'm 20 years old and I like a 16-year-old. But see, I've never been with a guy or had a boyfriend or anything. I've always had girlfriends. And this guy, I've grown up with him. And he's also my brother's friend, but I really care about him.
You mean you've been lesbian until now?
Yeah, I'm confused.
I'm confused. I think that about sums it up.
Yeah.
And then being so focused on a guy that's a child when you're an adult suggests a high level of confusion too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody get to you when you were younger?
No.
Did something to you?
No.
Yeah?
No.
It sort of had to be, Laura. Something happened.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
To create that level of confusion, it's something went on. At least when you were 12, some 17 to 19-year-old got a hold of you.
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's backtrack here. Your parents together?
No.
Where's your dad?
He lives down the street. They divorced.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when they divorced?
Actually, it was last year.
Oh, okay, so you're 19.
Yeah.
When did you lose your virginity?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Well, I've been with girls.
Yeah.
Starting at what age?
Like 17 or 16 or 17.
When you were a child, no exploration with other girls?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Well, like, I was like 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
What was happening?
I was just like me and the neighborhood girls. We would just like play around and stuff. We'd play house.
In a sexual way?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not normal.
Oh.
Listen, my maid was over 2 days ago. I didn't go down on her once. Actually, the week before I had to because I was short 20, and she's, get down there. But I didn't want to go down to the ATM for what the hell.
It really disturbs a child's development, Laura, to engage in that kind of activity at that age, and that's what creates all this confusion, and also these focus on these young male figures that try to recapture some of that lost development.
Yeah, I kind of think it's like a power trip. It's like I'm older than him.
Yeah, some of it may be issues of power, but let's just call it, we knew that something had happened to you because that's what creates these behaviors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got that voice. She got that voice that sounds like, when you fill up a water bottle in the sink and you can tell by the way it sounds it's being filled to the top because it goes, ooh. She goes, the other day my boyfriend came up. And it goes, what if you really like my what?
I don't know. No, because I was thinking like the same thing. I was wondering like, why would I like someone so young? And I don't know.
Ooh. Well, that's kind of when you got started, right?
Yeah.
It's trying to recapture some of that lost stuff.
I think so.
Yeah.
So you're saying, what are you trying to say?
That you need some treatment.
Okay.
And you got to really look into it.
Yeah, because I was going to a counselor for other things because I have obsessive compulsive disorder. So I was going to a counselor for that, but I haven't been going for anything else.
Get back in and talk about all this stuff and see if you can't sort some of these things out. Because you are confused, you're confused, you need some clarity in order to begin to have reasonable relationships.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't want to mess around with a 15-year-old when you're 20. That's against the law.
Would a show like this work in China? The government would kill us, right?
Oh, they'd love you, actually. Probably not. It would be censored.
It would.
That's my guess. Yeah.
Now, I have a lot of ideas about limiting population in this great country of ours. And you always hear that China used as sort of a example.
Okay.
What are the rules? Do you know the rules?
What, to limit population over there?
Yeah.
One-child policy?
There's one child per family.
Yeah. They instituted that, but that's still not doing anything, and the population is just...
Well, why isn't that doing anything?
There's just too many people there already.
They can't
as it
contain-
is.
they
So
can't-
if everyone
It's
just
not containable.
You mean they can't limit people to one child, or even if everyone
even
just
if they
has
limit
one
to
child?
one child, there's still. You have to understand, a fifth of the world's population is Chinese. You know, 1/5.
The death rate is dropping so that people live longer. and
Yeah.
There you go. Population grows that
They
way.
smoke over there pretty good, though, don't they? We gotta get more cigarettes over there. Start mowing down those Chinese. One kid. And see, over here it wouldn't really work, the one kid per family, because each guy has 4 or 5 families. You know what I mean? In China, it'd be fine because people get married and they stay together. Here, it's like we're all NBA stars. Everyone just move from town to town, knock somebody up, and that's my one kid with her, Your Honor. I have one with her, and one with your sister, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ginger, see, I think I want the one kid per household thing here before we get spun out, like China. Ginger,
Yeah.
what's going on?
I just kind of listened to you guys' show, and this is the first time I've ever heard it.
Great.
And I was kind of interested in it. I was listening to about the older guy, taking in the younger girl kind of thing.
Right.
And that happened to me. I have a child from the union.
Really?
Yes.
How old were you?
I was 15. He was 25.
Mm-hmm. And was it your boyfriend?
Well, he became a boyfriend, but it was very scary.
That's a nice courtship.
Well, it was a very scary thing.
Why was it scary to you?
Yeah, it was very scary.
Why?
I was 15, very naive, and I didn't know anything really much. And he wanted to have a baby, and he was very sadistic. I mean, I'm 38 now, so I know it was just sadistic now.
Right. Well, let me close my eyes. I'm guessing he turned out to change his ways and be a wonderful father and husband?
No.
No?
He's still in prison. My daughter...
I was so wrong about him.
My daughter's 21 now.
Mm-hmm. She's got a couple kids, right?
She's got a baby daughter, 6 months old.
Perfect. And I'm sure her husband's a dream.
He is. He is. He is a wonderful father.
Keep an eye on him.
Are they married?
Yes, they're married. They got married in September of this year.
Mm-hmm. The warden allowed it.
No, he is very nice man.
All right.
And
who raised her?
Pardon me?
Did you raise her?
Yes, I did, by myself.
Really? Oh, you didn't bring no stepdad?
Nope.
Good girl.
Good.
That's why she turned out all right.
Yep, I raised that girl. But the thing is now she's searching for her father.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's how she's going to screw everything up, but
she
good.
found him. He is in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, if you're looking for him, you better look for him in prison, because I know the kind of man he is now. And she did find him in prison in another state. Mm-hmm. And it was against one crime was against one crime was sodomy, and the other was against a child.
Right.
And so she wants to go on national television to just meet him. She doesn't want
Springer?
Pardon me?
Springer or something?
Yeah,
I know the McLaughlin group.
Any one of them. Springer.
Don't do it, Jen.
I told her not to go on Springer.
Suddenly, the picture of health that you painted of your daughter is starting to just crumble miserably for us.
She and her letters that she wrote a letter.
She is going to sabotage the hell out of her marriage, her mothering abilities. Everything is going to fall apart.
The letter that she wrote, she says, "Look, I am fully aware that this man is demented, and he is no good, and that he
and I better go on TV with him."
She just wants to see him
closure.
and meet him and be on neutral ground. So do
that at the jail. I mean, if that's
let her go over to the jail and talk to him.
Well, she doesn't want him to know. See, the only way that she can do that to go to jail is he'll have to know that it's his daughter, and he'll have to know who she is.
Well, he's going to know that when he comes out on television.
Who do you think she's going to be talking to? Liz Taylor on Springer, for Christ's sake?
I'm trying to talk.
All right, Ginger, please.
She's got to focus on her mothering right now.
Oh, boy. Remember that? Yeah, remember she's a picture of health. She married a prince. She has a beautiful young child. She's 21. She's doing real good.
There we go.
And she knows the charges that this guy's up on.
Yeah, and you can see her. You can see her on Springer and judge for yourself.
Listen, you want to see your dad? Close your eyes. Picture him raping your mom 21 years ago and then leaving. That's Dad. 25 on a 15-year-old. He raped her. That's it. No different than a guy jumped her in the park.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, we'll be back, and then I'll be equally as disgusted.
Call 1-800-LOVE-191 to broadcast your problems to the public. Loveline will be right back.
For a second.
They are treading water in a sea of retarded sexuality.
Loveline. Exclusively on Tucson's New Rock. 92.1 KFMA.
Hey, we're on. All right, we're getting out of here, everybody. Garrett Wang, thank you very much. Star Trek Voyager, Wednesday nights, UPN, 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
100th episode. Yeah.
Even Drew's on board, Drew. I mean, Drew really wants to get out of here when he gets back. I'm going to go and watch it. All right, Garrett, thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate it. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
Mommy! This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingold. Now, please listen to this station longer.